All praise, all glory, honor, all honors really due to the Most High, the God of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And peace to you in the name of Jesus. This is your brother Elisha of the house of faith, and I count it truly a blessing each and every single time that I can come before you to preach the word of God. I count it as a light thing to do so. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to get right into today's lesson, and the title is "What is the duty? The duty of the priest. The duty of the priest." You know, Israel is the priest. Kingdom and a nation of priests, a holy nation unto the Lord. And within them, you had those who were given the duty of priesthood, the Levites. That's the priestly tribe. And we want to find out just what their duty was. Okay? Because they had a great duty to fulfill. So now let's go to peace to you, brother. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. I'm going to pick it up at verse 30, chapter 33 and verse 10. Chapter 33 and verse 10. Let's see, give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how stable this stream is. It's acting weird, but nevertheless, I'm going to keep going. If it falls, I'm going to start a new one. Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter and verse 10. Because again, some were given a specific duty, and that duty was to teach. Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, I'm going to pick it up at verse 10. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 10. It says, well, I'm going to pick it up at verse 8. It says, and of Levi, he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Merrillville, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew he his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. Then he says something about this concerning Levi. And this is Moses blessing the tribes, and he says concerning Levi, they will teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee and whole burnt sacrifice upon that altar. So when you look at who was supposed to teach Israel the law, when you look at who was supposed to teach them judgments, we're talking about none other than the tribe of Levi. Let's go to Leviticus, the 10th chapter. It was their duty to teach. Leviticus, the 10th chapter. Leviticus, the 10th chapter. And we want to pick it up at verse 6. Leviticus, the 10th chapter and verse 6. Give me a second. I'll tell you. Okay. All right. So I can't see who's listening. I don't know what's up with the feed, but Leviticus, the 10th chapter, I'm going to pick it up at verse 6. It says, and Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which the Lord hath kindled. Okay, now he's referring to what happened to Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, the high priest, who basically offered strange incense upon the altar. Okay, so though he basically saying don't mourn for them. Okay, then it says, but let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning He said, lest ye die and lest wrath come upon all the people, but let your brother in the whole house of Israel beware the burning which the Lord hath kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of the Lord is upon you. So even amongst those, they were set apart for a specific purpose, anointed to do a task. And they did according to the word of Moses. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. Then it says, and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy. Okay, and between unclean and clean. So that was the duty of the priest. Then it says, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord have spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. See, so what he gave to Moses was Torah. And they were supposed to instruct the people in Torah, in the law, statutes, judgments, commandments, ordinances that were delivered unto the children of Israel. Okay? So that premise is set here. And when you really think about it, that is ultimately, if somebody's teaching you teaching you, that's what they're supposed to be teaching you. And that's clearly shown through what was given to the Levites to do. But Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter, Deuteronomy 31 and verse 9. Yeah, peace to you, sister. I cannot see as far as numbers or who's on here. I just see something coming up in the chat. Nevertheless, 31, Deuteronomy 31, we're going to pick it up at verse 9. It says, and Moshe wrote this law and delivered it unto the priest, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles, when all Israel's come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose. He said, now that place that he chose is none other than Jerusalem, the city of peace, the city of the great king. So it says, when all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. All right, so they were supposed to read the law before the people. You see this on numerous occasions where they were to read the law so that they could understand, so that the people could understand what they were supposed to do. He said, gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates. So this is for all those who are Israel and the commonwealth of it, those who have become a part of the commonwealth of Israel. He says, and that they may learn and fear. It says that they may learn and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as ye live in the land whether ye go over Jordan to possess it. So, but what did he do? He did this for in verse 9 again. He gave this to Levi. I said, Moses wrote this law and delivered unto the priest of the sons of Levi. Okay. So they were supposed to, again, instruct the people. You see the same thing years after Israel was cast out of the land. You saw Israel, the northern tribes, going into captivity, and in the days of the Syrians in 721, 722 BC. Then in 586, the southern kingdom, Judah, went into captivity. But then they came back. And then what did they set up when they came back? Let's go to Nehemiah. Because again, there was some that was set aside to do this task. This is Nehemiah. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8. Nehemiah, chapter 8. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. It says, and all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. They spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses. Now, this is many years, hundreds and hundreds of years after. But what happened? You got to get back to what the foundation is. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you there. You got to get back to what he established. The Torah, brothers and sisters, is just our standard of righteousness. This is how we know. So under this, what some might call a revival, What did he bring out? He brought back the old way, the old path. And all the people gathered themselves together. And understand, when they're in these diasporas, you are just like us today. We are so, in Israel, is the black people that have been scattered into slavery all over the world. Prophetically, we know this. Historically, we can show this. But in that, you lose what you were doing. You lose yourself. We are in America with an alien identity. We don't know our name. We don't know who we are. We don't know how we dress. We don't know our original tongue. We don't know our faith system, our cultures, norms, and mores. Those things have been erased. They were erased over that water and over those diasporas being kicked out of the land. That was a total disconnect after Jerusalem, 70 AD. But nevertheless, he said, and all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both of men and women, and all that could hear with understanding upon the first day of the 7th month. Okay, so this is around the time of trumpets that they did this. Okay, so now let's skip down to verse 6, because it says, and Ezra blessed the, because they read the law, right? The people, as a matter of fact, verse 3, it says, and he read therein before the street that was before the water gate from the morning until midday, before the men and the women and those that could understand, and the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law. See, so they listening. Then it says in verse 6, and Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God, and all the people answered, Amen, with lifting up their hands, and they bowed their heads and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground. Also, Yeshua and Bani and Sherebiah and Yamin and Hakub and Shabbatai and Hadiah, Maaseiah, a Kelida, Azariah, Josabad, Hanan, Eliah, and the Levites caused the people to understand the law, and the people stood in their place. Okay, so this is what I said, the Levite, that's not just by coincidence. So they read in the book of the law of God distinctly, gave the sense, and caused them to understand the reading. See, it's about understanding what thus said the Lord. And Nehemiah, which is the Tershatha, which is a governor, that's a Persian word, which means governor, and Ezra, what it say, the priest. It said, and Ezra, the priest, the scribe, and the Levites that taught the people said unto all the people, this day is holy, O Kadash, unto the Lord your God. Mourn not, weep, nor weep, for all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. Okay. Then it said, then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord, unto our Lord. It's set apart. And it says, neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. So the Levites stilled all the people, saying, hold your peace, for the day is holy, neither be ye grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and to drink and to send portions and to make great mirth, because they had understood the words that were declared unto them. And on the second day were gathered together the chief of the fathers, all the people, the priests, and the Levites unto Ezra the scribe, even